Welcome to the No Ideas original podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, Zane, and Ken. Tonight, we are fortunate enough to be joined by Harlem MC, ghostwriter, a dude I personally feel came into hip hop during the golden era when dudes was really popping on the mixtape scene. BathGate, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What was good? Was good, y'all. Was good.
What's up? Yo, we you know what? I feel like the universe works in like a crazy way because we had this interview set up for a couple of weeks now, and different
Yeah,
things came up that kind of got it pushed back. But I've been listening to Clubhouse. I don't know, you on Clubhouse?
no, I don't fuck with Clubhouse.
Yeah, I've been listening to Clubhouse, and prior to this, I really wasn't on it much either.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if you've been following in the news now. Like, there's a whole bunch of conversation going on as it relates to Karen Civil, and Karen Civil's dealing with what's dude name Joyner Lucas, saying that she basically told Joyner Lucas that she was going to do promotion for him and help his career take off if he gave her 60 grand, and he gave her 60 grand, and his career didn't pop back then. But now Joyner Lucas is Joyner Lucas. He then came off and everything. And he came up, and so now he on Clubhouse, kind of airing her out, and all these people are coming out with like the surviving Karen Civil story and everything. But yo, it kind of made me think about, like, because I had an opportunity, I watched the interview on Flip the Script, and to me, like, yo, that's one of the best interviews that I've ever seen them do, and I really appreciated hearing your story, bro, because I'm like, yo, your resilience and everything that you've been through to still be here and still be standing and still making music and everything. I'm like, yo, the industry is dirty as hell.
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is, man. I don't know too much about the Karen Civil situation. I actually saw something really quick on Instagram. I forgot who posted it, but I didn't even I don't know what it was, but I just was like, I just wasn't in the mood for the drama at that second. But I listened for a hot second, then I just kept skimming. But I didn't know it was with Joyner Lucas. I didn't know it was an issue with Joyner Lucas. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
and then
it's kind of crazy, man. It's a dog eat dog game, man. It's like really, it can really nasty. It's a really nasty game at sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Some
yeah.
people stand up. Some people are just. I don't know that situation, but I'm not shocked though that it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
and then Cam had history too with her too. Cam had history with her because Cam had said that she did the same thing to Duke the God a few years ago. So Cam had mentioned this years ago, but people wrote Cam off and was like, "Yo, whatever Cam is saying is inaccurate. It's not true. Cam is just hating." So the reason why I kind of made me think about like us with our interview with you is because I asked a lot of people this. We had Shaheem on, we had Cuban Link on. We had Ali Vegas on. We had quite a few people on. I usually ask them at the end of the interview, did the music business sour you on the business of making music? Like, has your passion for making music sort of declined as a result of all the industry politics?
It's sour things at first. You know what I'm saying? It because when you're an artist, especially young artist, your main focus should be the music and your craft. You know what I'm saying? Getting your skills right so you can compete with some of these artists, and then you can withstand and have a career with longevity. But sometimes you gotta really, in hindsight, I know that you got to really have an eye on what's going on in your business because everybody is not trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? And I think what my situation is, I was young. I signed the guys who believed in me. You know what I'm saying? I came from a different world, so I don't know nothing about this world. You know what I'm saying? This world was a more corporate world. You got to rub shoulders with everybody. Everybody's supposed to be cool, but you know what I'm saying? It's not really like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to really I signed the deal and had no lawyer, nobody in representation of me, but the people who signed me. You know what I'm saying? It took me. I didn't even realize what I was doing because I thought I was in good hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I signed my deal and I'm using G. Robison's lawyer, I'm thinking I'm straight because this is my guy. I looked up to him. So you know what I'm saying? And so it's like taking a young teen and mentoring him, and now he's not that teen is not expecting to look at you funny because he's looking at you as a mentor. So he's trusting you with everything, and that you can't do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have good people that's business minded, that understands what they, what the plan is and how to get you to pop. I think, in my time, everybody was focused on the wrong things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what got you reinvigorated? What made you decide, all right, I want to get back to making music?
I love this shit. I mean, and what's crazy is that my oldest son, who's 12 years old, I'm always on him about like his with basketball and shit. So I would like take him outside training, and I do a lot of stuff with him. We always riding together, and we're going to these different trainings and different basketball practices and stuff. And I'm playing my music usually, and I'm telling him like, son, you gotta keep you gotta stay dreaming. You gotta keep dreaming. You gotta work hard. You gotta prepare to be successful, and you can't let nobody deter you. And he one day told me, he was like, Dad, so what about your dream? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, what about your dream? I said, well, I'm sacrificing my dream to make sure your dream is right, because not everybody is loyal. I mean, not everybody's lucky to come from where we come from. So I want to make sure that your dream, your dream is achieve. You can achieve that dream.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yo, I said, so I'm kind of like pushing my dream to the side. And he told me, he's like, don't stop dreaming. You don't stop dreaming either. You go for your dream too. And that right there kind of lit the fire again for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always there, and I'm always still writing and making music, but that kind of like changed my perspective. It made me want to like really hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Word. Shout out to my son Just. You know what I'm saying?
Being that it's been a little bit of a while and you're a little older now, how do you feel your music's changed? Because I know, like, when you out there and you're younger, the topics change, the thought
Right.
process changed. How do you feel like it changed?
Right. Pardon me. I think being older, I'm wiser. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm more focused on. I'm still focused on my skill set. You know what I'm saying? Like I always listen to guys for motivation, like like Royce the 5'9" and Benny the Butcher and Conway and guys like that. I listen to those guys because I respect their pen, like the RJ Paynes, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm trying to. I'm looking at them. I'm studying the game from how they're approaching it, and I'm like, all right, I got to make sure that I come correct. I'm not really thinking about the melodic stuff, the melodies and stuff like that so much, because to me, it's always been about your skill set, your wordplay, your wittiness, and your metaphors, and what you're talking about, and how you're painting the picture. And it's nothing against the melodies and stuff like that, because I want to do that as well, but it's always been that competitive part for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't think that when Kobe was watching Mike, he was thinking about, I'm gonna just dunk on everybody. He was like, no, I'm young, but I'm gonna take that fadeaway game and use it to my advantage as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about me. As I got older, I just started watching and paying attention more. To the new guys and older guys coming back and just seeing what I need to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of the little Uzis of the world, even though they're big superstars. I wasn't trying to compete or figure that lane out, because there's so many lanes in hip hop, and especially with underground artists really getting their flowers now. It's not like you really need to be commercial. You can just do your music that you do, that you're happy with, and your fan base is gonna love. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be true to my fan base.
It's interesting you say that, because I do feel like there's been like a reemergence in terms of lyricism. Like you do have people that are very much heavy on melodies, but now lyricism, wordplay is definitely back in the picture. And you know what I think part of that is? I think part of that is sort of like the removal of people having to rely on major labels to kind of be like the engine behind everything. Now that people are independent, I think what independence has created more control for artists with their own projects. So now you look at dudes like Nas, who like 20 some years in with a King's Disease 1 and King's Disease 2, some of his best work in a long time. And then AZ just put out a new album, really good. And then like you look at the Conways, and you look at these type of dudes, And their music is sort of like, to me, it's like unrelenting. It's like they're just making the music that they want to make, that they know their core audience really appreciates. Now, here's the part that I kind of struggle with, because probably 20 years ago, doing all of this was sort of taboo, right? If you were independent, it was almost viewed as you a failure. People were saying, yo, Koch and Land Speed, those are the rap graveyards. But in reality,
I was actually told that. I was actually told that verbatim. Like when I was telling guys, like actually when I was signed to the production team, I was signed to Enigma Music Group, to G and Hip Hop. I remember being told when we was going through a Virgin Records, and one of the guys who worked at Virgin, my man Shadow, shout out to Shadow. I haven't spoken to him in years, but I remember being he was going over that. He was working at Koch. He got like a big position at Koch, and I was just like, well, Shadow's at Koch. Let's go over to Koch and And I don't remember who. I don't know if G said it, or I don't think hip hop said it, but somebody in our circle said like, yo, we go over there. We go to, the independent route is the graveyard for rappers. Like Koch was the graveyard. And I was just like, what? And the next thing you know, the Jim Joneses of the world, everybody's selling, records $6 a pop. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I definitely was told that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the optics though. You think about it. It's like it's the optics of, okay, you could be on a major label, and what people believe comes with a major label versus being independent. And people are looking at independent. Well, you on independent because the independent is the graveyard, or the independent people are not getting money. When the reality of it is the independent artists were getting way better splits than people that were on the major label.
The problem is this. Everybody that's inspiring to do this music thing, rap or whatever it is they're trying to do in the music business, everybody wants to be Jay-Z. Everybody wants to be Little Wayne. Everybody wants to be big as Beyonce. So they're shooting for that. So they don't care. They don't care to see what the pros and cons are. So they're just looking at it from, if I sign to a major label, I can be as big as Lil Wayne. And I get that. And it's cool to have that, to have that ambition and that goal. But everybody is not designed to be that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody might be, so you might have an artist that's more pen savvy, and their music is soulful, and it's not really poppy or commercial, and it's not in the cards for them to be as big as a pop artist, really. You know what I'm saying? They can still be big. They can be big overseas. They can be big independently. They can make all this money and pull a Ryan Leslie and be successful. But and then disappear. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's thinking like that. Everybody's thinking, I got to be as big as Lil Wayne. I got to be as big as Jay-Z. And everybody's timing is different. Everybody's time is different. The game is different. It's always evolving, and it's always new avenues opening up. You know what I'm saying? And I think in hindsight, that was where I slipped up at, is because I got down on myself because I couldn't be as big as those guys. You know what I'm saying? When it was a lane on the independent market, you know what I'm saying? For independent artists, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of independent artists come and really do well on the independent market, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I had the same conversation with Master Ace, and I was saying to Master Ace, I was like, would you have traded your career, the career you have, for one huge hit record? And he was saying, he was like, no, that he would keep it. He said he thinks about it, and he said that he would keep his career the way it is, because he said whatever royalties he probably would have made off the one hit record, he would have probably already spent it. But his career, the career that Master Ace has provided him with an opportunity where he probably never has to work a regular 9-to-5 job. He's touring overseas. Yeah, at this point, even the music he makes, I still like his albums. He still make really good music, but at the end of the day, he never went mainstream. He was never really a big pop artist. And I think that really speaks to what you're saying about people knowing and understanding their lane now, being on the outside looking at it as a consumer of the music. To me, it's easier to see that. But I would imagine being in your shoes as the artist, it's much more difficult to kind of come to that realization, or to say to yourself, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do my numbers and I'm going to get my bread this way. And I may not have the number one hit, or fuck it, if I do get the number one hit, it'll come when it comes, kind of thing.
Right. It's because, at the time, like I said before, in the beginning, you're thinking about being a big superstar. And as you get older, you're looking at the game differently. You're thinking about it like, nah, I got to make sure I secure this bag. I got to make sure that I secure this bag to come for for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It's like God, that's the legend. He's one of the nicest niggas doing it. You know what I'm saying? Bar for bar. But he understood that I'm sure he understood that as he got older. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like view the game differently. And then he got the right business people in his corner. So he's able to look at the game differently and able to reinvent himself or just be able to still appeal to his audience. When you got guys like, the Pusha T's of the world, they're kind of like they kind of have to go this route because they already in too deep in that route. Pause. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they have to go that route. So like for myself, that wasn't an option really for me. You know what I'm saying? So the option was I'm gonna do what I'm doing now or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's because also the people that you have in your corner, they got to be on the same page. They got to actually talk to you and give you these options as well. And nobody was at that time, and that 2001, 2002 wasn't thinking about going independent. The people who saw that and jumped on that avenue were able to be successful. To sit what's the guy name? He made it really big on the underground independent. Damn man, Tech Nine. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Tech Nine really, really made a lot of money being independent. You know what I'm saying? And I just watching from afar, not watching the nigga pocket, but just watching his music and his catalog grow. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, it's a lane for everybody. That's why there were guys that can still make music and still do shows. The MF Dooms, God bless his soul, like
Yeah.
artists in the underground that I didn't really, even though I was a part of that underground, it was different for me in that time period. You know what I'm saying? The way it is now. You know what I'm saying? Just like the battle game is different. You know what I'm saying? The way we battled in hip hop in the street was different to the way they battle now. Now it's like a whole, league. It's leagues. It's like
Yeah.
it's like wrestling. It's like they
Yeah.
figure out to have cards and undercards. That shit is
Yeah.
genius. It's
Yeah.
genius. It's just like it carved out a niche for you to make a lot of fucking money
Mm-hmm.
and still appeal to your audience. You know what I'm saying? And it's not in everybody's cards to be as big as the Jays and Little Waynes. It's sometimes it's in your card to be this or to be that, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's up to the individual to figure out how to monetize their brand.
I think that, like what you're saying, it's tough because you got to get comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that with sports too. So everybody that plays in high school basketball, everybody plays in college, everybody thinks they're going to the league. Now the league used to be only it, but now you got more people understand they go to Europe, Big Three, all over the place, all over the world,
Yeah.
because there's money everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I tell my son this all the time.
yeah, it's money
Everywhere.
everywhere. So
Get to college, get the scholarship, go to school for free, better your craft, and let it take you where it's gonna take you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can throw it all in one basket, not make it, and next thing you know, you're 20 years in, and you're not happy with where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't close the doors on these avenues, and that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of artists, do they close the door on that avenue because they can't see themselves doing anything else but being the big artist,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not meant for everybody. It's not designed that way. If
Yeah.
that was the case, everybody would be big music artists. You know what I'm saying? You could be big in your own right. You know what I'm saying? You could be big to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of artists that I listen to every day that's underground, that's making, selling albums, probably heard this as well. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't close the door on those avenues, and they're able to be successful on the independent market or the underground market, or just the streets is going to talk, man. They're going to fuck with you or not. It's not going to be a situation where your music is going to sell itself if you just put your best foot forward and you market it right. It's going to sell itself. You know what I'm saying? People going to
Yeah.
fuck or they not.
Yeah. Well, we live in an era now with this digital age where it's like everything is direct to consumer. So the whole notion of even needing a label involved is, to me, it's like I don't even know why at this point you would want to cut up the pie that way. But I guess, people thought process behind the label is, the label helps in terms of promotion and all that, which is promotion and marketing is definitely needed. But I also think I agree with you. Like, a lot of times, like if you got the right record, that record is going to work itself. Like if people hear it, you get it out on YouTube, Spotify, whatever it is, you get it out there and people begin to hear it. Think about it. When you were probably at the height of your success, there were A&Rs and shit like that at the label. Now the A&R is probably going on YouTube or Instagram, looking at how many followers somebody got, how many subscribers they got, and because they don't want to build an artist. There's no money going into building artists anymore. Now it's like, all right, you've already established yourself. Now let's throw some corporate money behind you, and then see what we could do with it. So I wish people will feel more compelled and believe more in themselves to be like, you know what, I built this all up on my own. Let me take my product out for myself, put it on the street, and let me get the money. Let me build my team around me and stuff like that, and then take it from there. Like that's one of the things I think that I admire about LeBron, even beyond his basketball. Like LeBron is in a position where he put his dudes in a position, and now their brand is growing so big around in terms of business and stuff like that. And LeBron was the bag. He got the first check for them, but then he took that, and now LeBron has probably created generational wealth for so many different people. Yeah, just on the strength of believing in themselves. So I don't know how we get people to shift and begin to start thinking about that. Like, you know what, if I got a million followers or 500,000 followers without, what is it? I don't even know. There ain't even many record labels around anymore without Def Jam doing it. Why I need to sign to Def Jam at this point? Like, what do you think is preventing people from saying like, all right, you know what, this is something I can do on my own without the help of a Def Jam?
Because it costs too much money. I mean, it costs too much money. It costs a lot of money to break a record. If to break a record the right way, you know what I'm saying, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying, to really break a record the right way. If you're not thinking along those lines, then you can put up your own little bit of bread and work your music on the internet. You can do that. I'm sure you can go to it's a lot of people that's doing podcasts, underground radio shows, still, the internet radio shows, college radio, and you can still go around and go to hit these towns and play your music in these clubs, or get the DJs to play your music in the club or the strip clubs, etc. It's a lot of different ways of doing it. Like, what I'm saying, I once heard that Fetty Wap was playing his Trap Queen record in the clubs for 2 years before the people heard it on the radio.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's always a way of doing it. If you're gonna guerrilla market it, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it like that. But I think the problem is that some guys, you don't know what everybody's situation is, and everybody might not have the bread, resources to push their own career. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking for the major to be that machine behind you. You know what I'm saying? To put up the money, but that comes with, that comes with something too. You know what I'm saying? You sign that deal. You never depending on what that deal is, and they're gonna figure out a way to make money off you. It's up to you. You got to figure out what you're willing to negotiate for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
But where I'm at, and in my life, it's a little bit of different. It's a little different. So I'm willing to spend a couple dollars on myself, because it's not like, I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I just want to do the music I love. I want to get it to the people. I want the people, to give me that feedback back. And you don't always get that immediately if you're trying to just fake the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to buy the views. You know what I'm saying? I get hit every day, DMs every day about, I can do this and fix your numbers, and I'll be like, get you a blue check, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get rich off me, champ. I'm not paying you to fix the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now you want to be able to reach out and touch the people and grow organically.
Right. Yeah, man. Because even if somebody fix my numbers, it doesn't equate to sales. You know what I'm saying? These are bots. Nobody's actually purchasing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck is that gonna do for me? You know?
Yeah.
I'm straight. You know what I mean? But everybody gotta have their own hustle. Everybody gotta do their own thing, man. But I would advise to any artist, any new artist coming up, is to put your coins behind yourself. You know what I'm saying? You really don't need the record labels, unless that's what your lane is. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go, and be an artist like Drake, then you need the record companies, because that's where it's gonna work. It's gonna work on the mainstream. But if you're gonna be an artist like Benny the Butcher, Smoke Dizza, guys like that, you can kind of go the independent route and keep your shit to yourself, and it's gonna keep raising your stock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
and you're making money. You know what I'm saying? The West Side Guns, they kind of like carved it out. Like, look, we doing this our way, and they're touring. That shit is major. You know what I'm saying? That's a major success, and that's a major success for the underground and other artists, the Rome streets of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, those artists are carved out their own lane on the underground, and salute to all of them. Those artists really are making it happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good look. It's a good look for artists who don't want to, you know, change their shit to try to please the masses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a breath of fresh air too. You know what I mean?
Like you're saying, people are watching too. People are watching and checking all the time for people. So I think a lot of people get it confused that you got a bunch of guys on the mainstream, so that's all all you do is click on the big radio stations, that's all you hear. But with the emergence of everything, people checking for everybody. So you get a following for years. Yeah, you could have a following people all the way through the whole years. You run into people at different venues and different events.
Right.
Right now, I'm sure you run into people all the time that could tell you stuff you did years ago.
Right. It be bugging me out, man. No, I was saying I run into people all the time that give me my flowers. They show me love, and they telling me that they're rocking my music, or they're like, "Oh, I got your last project grand opening." I'm like, "Oh, word!" And I'm blown away by it, because I'm just putting it out there, and I'm hoping that you get to it, because that's how I get introduced to new music all the time. Like, I be on Instagram just searching for stuff. I just be looking and looking, and I might stumble across somebody, tagging somebody else's artist, or they might play some new music, and if the shit is dope, I'm gonna fuck with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just downloaded something today of a group I think I've never heard of before. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always doing that, because like my man Rice always told me, like, yo, man, it's so many different artists out there. Like, you just gotta search for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta search for it, and you'll hear the shit that you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna always just be, what's on the radio. And what's on the radio is fine too, but and what's on the radio, a lot of artists have that backing behind them. You know what I'm saying? So it's slightly different. So,
and what's on the radio is probably 10 songs that play over and over.
Yeah.
Different rotation.
Same 10 songs all day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. How do you not like something if you hear it 1,000 times?
You've been conditioned.
Yeah, right. You're being programmed. That's literally radio programming. They program you to like the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure if I drop a record today and I can get 1,000 spins a day, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that record's going to be successful. People are going to love it, because they're hearing it constantly.
Over again.
Yeah,
they're like, all right, fuck it, I take it. You playing it must be good. Yo, so what led you to actually pick up the pen and start writing and rapping? And when did you realize that you actually had something?
Man, like I come from a family of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if you know about my story, but my uncle Mike C is from the group The Fearless Four. So they was the first rap group to sign to a major label. And his brother, my uncle L.A. Sunshine, is from the Treacherous Three. Okay. So I grew up in a household. My uncles were in high school and they were doing hip hop music. So this is all I heard. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be around, Kumo D when I was 8 years old, and being a Kumo D video. I got to meet Rakim. I got to meet Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? So I was inspired from a young boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then one day I was watching a Video Music Box, and a Coogee rap video was on for Ill Street Blues. And I recorded it on the VHS.
Yeah.
And I would just listen to the song over and over again. And then what I did was I made up my own version of Ill Street Blues as a kid.
That's dope.
And that was the first rhyme I wrote. Even though it was a copy,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like I was changing the words. But I just love the way G-Rap did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And then that was it. Like I think I was like in the 3rd grade or 4th grade. And by the time I was like 13, 14 years old, I was already like writing. I already had like, you know, like the album on the TDK tape with the tissue stuffed in it, like 30 songs on it. Like I was like in it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like me and my boy Grams and my boy Dills, we was already making music at my man E crib. So it became like that was our thing. We would create our rhymes in the hallway, in the building, in the projects, and then we would go upstairs to E crib because I lived on the 19th floor and E lived on the 20th floor. And we would just go upstairs to E crib, and E had the setup with the mic, and you know he had the MP, and it was just like, all right, cool, let's rock and roll. And then we was cutting our first demos in there like that. So I've been like doing albums since I was like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah. Yo, let's talk about the evolution of hip hop, right? Like you went from cutting albums, doing demos in somebody's apartment to probably recording in these huge studios to now, if you look about it, like everybody got like home studios.
Yeah. Got smart. Niggas got smart. Niggas said, yo,
hip hop downsized, labels downsized, the equipment downsized.
Yeah,
from
man.
Reels to ADATs to freaking, how you call it, Pro Tools,
MP3s.
Yeah, and the Reels, man. I remember the Reels, man. It was crazy. And the DATs, yeah, man. Like it's just, it's the future, man. Like the music gets to you so quickly, so you got to be able to get to the studio quickly. So you know the best thing to do is invest in the studio equipment and learn how to record yourself, just to get your pre-production up, so you can take it to the studio to somebody and that know what they're doing and mix and master it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything comes so quickly. If you know, back in the days, you used to be able to grab an album from the store, listen to it, open up the booklet.
I know where you're going with this.
And zone out with it, right? You can't do that shit no more. You can't even memorize your favorite artist's rhymes no more because you're living with the music maybe 7 days before something else
new come out.
Yeah. Switching up. So it's like, you know, I had a friend like, yo, we go at it all the time about he's gonna laugh if he see this, but we go at it all the time about Kendrick Lamar and his favorite artist. I forgot who we was comparing Kendrick. Is Kendrick better than this person, or I don't know, like, but he said to me one time, he's like, recite one Kendrick Lamar verse. I said, I can't recite no Kendrick Lamar verses. It's so much shit going on, you know what I'm saying? But I like his music, and I think he's the next level. I think he's a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. I don't know no Kendrick Lamar. I'm trying to learn my own shit. Like, it ain't like how it was before, where you can live with an album for a year, 6 months to a year before, you know, somebody else, you know, before you even fuck with somebody else's shit. But man, it's different, man. The evolution is crazy, man. You gotta keep going, man. You gotta constantly keep sharpening your pen and just keep going. Don't put a cap on your music. You know, that's what I learned for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just finished the project with Rice, with the Str8 Bangaz, and I told him, I say, yo, listen, keep giving me music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't stop. When we stop, we don't have the time. We can't afford to just up. If you still got music, let's just keep cutting music. You know, the album is done, but let's just keep cutting music. We might stumble on something that we can put out. You know? And I'm working with working with Ron Browse on a project soon.
Okay.
And, so as soon as we roll out my new project with Str8 Bangaz, it's called Nobody's Innocent. And once we roll out with that, we're gonna rock with that, and then I'm trying to come with the Ron Browse project. Then I'm working with these other guys called the Kingsmen. My boy Ron Thomas's peoples. They have like a artist production group. You know what I'm saying? And these guys are freaking dope. You know what I'm saying? Like R&B writers, producers, and it's not just R&B. Like the hip hop shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm willing to just keep putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's willing to work with me, let's rock and roll. And I'm just, you know, ready to just put out the music, you know, and just have fun and enjoy the shit that I love to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out Str8 Bangaz. Rice is my dude. I know Rice for
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. You telling me,
Yeah. Rice is my dude. You know, how you call? I supported. I got the grand opening album. I thought it was dope. I like Sweet Splendor. I liked a lot of the tracks over. I thought it was like really soulful, and to me, it was different from what I was used to hearing from you.
Right.
You know, back in the days, I'm like, all right, this is a nice change of pace. But also like having known Rice and Pat for mad years too, I've seen the evolution of their production as well. And I think you guys kind of found like a really good marriage. Like even the little snippet of the joint, I don't know if it's the sample from Glenn Jones.
Yeah.
Like, that's just fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, like yo, it sounds like, you know, how you call it, like you really you got producers that's matching where you going.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine that's got to be refreshing for you.
Nah, it is, man. It's very refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Because that the beauty of working with the Bangers is that I can it's just a phone call away, and the way we can bounce the ideas. I could be like, yo, look, I got an idea for a project, because that's what it was. I told Rice, I said, yo, I got an idea for a project. It's called Nobody's Innocent. I get to tell a different story about a kid and how a young kid's innocence is being removed and how he gets introduced to the street, right? Mm-hmm. And I left him with that. And then I started receiving tracks. And then it wasn't like I had to pick these tracks. Really, it was like, there's 3 tracks he'll send me. Oh, 2 of these would be perfect for the project. Because he's producing according to that title, to the sound.
Yeah.
And we're able to work with each other like that, which is really dope. It's refreshing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it don't really take that long for us to really cut a project together, you know what I'm saying? But it's really dope, man. I can't wait for the people for y'all to hear it, man. Like, oh man, it's really different from grand opening, you know what I'm saying? And I love grand opening because I wanted to show people my growth and how I matured. So grand opening is really mature, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk about, you know, like a song called Black Royalty. I wanted to talk about my wife, you know what I'm saying, and being married today, you know what I'm saying? So when I was younger, it was why I was running around wilding, you know what I'm saying? But here I wanted to give the flowers and the light to shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And talk about, you know, the loss of my sister and different songs. So grand opening was a introduction, but it was also showing my growth and how I matured.
Yeah.
Now Nobody's Innocent is a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different story, and it's pretty much, like I said, it's pretty much about a young kid who's on a appearance, he seems to be innocent. But what the people don't know is that there's a whole dark side to him. And then I wanted to also use the stuff from that my experiences in my place when I was in that dark space, and merge it together and make a marriage and give you a project, you know, from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys will love it. I think you
a grown man album.
Yeah, it's a man album, but it has its ignorance though. It definitely has its ignorance. It has its bars. It has its ugliness. It has its, you know, it has its revenge. It's revenge energy. It has the warning energy. It has the, you know, I made a mistake energy. It has everything on it. It's just nobody's innocent. You know, sometimes we hear it's fucked up, but sometimes we hear the stories of kids or young people and you know, shit happening in the street, and sometimes we don't really know the backstory or what those
what led to it
involved, what led to it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we automatically assume, damn, another child is killed. Oh, this shit is fucked up, or this child was probably doing this, and then the mothers are sometimes oblivious to what their child is doing. And at that time period, I'm talking about, you know, my situation and how my mother was oblivious to what I was getting and what I was around. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff would have blew her away if she knew all the stuff that I was around and involved in. You know what I'm saying? So Nobody's Innocent kind of deals with all of that stuff in one big pot. And, you know, I can't wait for y'all to hear it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on having ghost written for people? What are your thoughts on now? What it looks like making an album versus what it looked like making an album before? Because now I'm sure you see Kanye got 70 different dudes, whoever hot he fly in to work on the album with him and to write and to do all this stuff, and it's really moved to like now putting together a hip hop album is like like some shit like Quincy Jones. You got a whole bunch of composers that throw something together. Like, are you opposed to that, or you think it's a good thing that you have that many people collaborating on a project? From a pen standpoint, I'm talking about Bath. I'm talking about writing.
Listen, I've changed. My view on that before was like, niggas is cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like they on some A-Rod shit. They cheating. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm looking at it from a different perspective because it's like, nah, every artist is not the MC and lyricist that you want them to be. Mm-hmm. And you gotta love the music for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I remember my boy was telling me about A Boogie. And I was just like, at first I was just like, I don't know if I could, fuck with this. Young cats, their music is in a different direction. I might not. He's like, nah, bro, just fuck with it and listen to it and listen to the artists for who they are. And I listened to that A Boogie album, and ever since then, I'm an A Boogie fan.
He's talented.
A Boogie is super talented. So I was like, nah, I fucks with this. So now my approach is different. I don't even care. So when I get an album or somebody's project, I just want to listen to it. I don't care who they collab with, who helped them, who produced this, who wrote this single, because it really is just opening doors for artists like me to get back in because, I can write something for somebody. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was working on songs for Puff and writing for Puff, and I met Nas in the studio. And I'm blown away because this is like my favorite rapper of all time. So I'm like, damn, this nigga Nas Esco's in here. So I'm trying to keep my cool. So I'm like, yo, what's up? I give him a pound. I get introduced to him. We in there vibing. And he's working on a song for Puff on the Forever album. Mm-hmm. And Nas turned to me. He like, yo, fam,